This channel supports Extra Life in its efforts to raise money for the Children's Miracle Network. For more information about how to donate and join in their efforts, go to the link displayed here. Extra Life. Play games, heal kids. What up, everybody? This is your boy Blak Magus, and I am tired as hell, but I'm going to knock out this video about the Sony press conference at Paris Games today. If it kills me, no, not if it kills me, but just gonna go ahead and do the damn thing. Now, I watched this at work, so I didn't get everything, but I got enough. Plus, I was able to supplement it with the trailers on the PlayStation site to know that Sony brought a lot of stuff. Now, whether or not it appeals to you or not, you know, remains to be seen. I'm sure a lot of people like screamed and bitched and moaned because it wasn't a ton of AAA games, or it wasn't a ton of competitive shooters or something, or there was too many indies, too much PSVR. But I thought they did a pretty good balance of showing you everything that they offer for every type of gamer, which is what I think most people should do. Because again, AAA games aren't going to sustain you financially forever. Those things cost a lot of money, and you need to supplement that with other games. And I like the fact that Sony supplements it with other games that are interesting outside of the box at times. Different. They gave a diverse library, as always. You saw games like Guacamelee 2, which, by the way, I feel like now I'm glad I watched the pre-show, because I just had this weird feeling that Sony was going to do this again. They did it at E3, where they announced a bunch of show reveals, and they did it this time with Paris Games Week, where they announced Guacamelee 2, the Hong Kong Massacre, the Gardens Between, remaster of Loco Roco 2. They showed a trailer for Tennis World Tour. Sorry, I said update because I see it on my paper. This shows you how tired I am, people. They showed a ton of VR games during the pre-show and after the pre-show. I'll only name a couple quickly. Not really into the VR thing, but they had stuff like Ultra Wings, Star Child, Megalith, and they showed the Resident Evil Not a Hero DLC trailer, and of course that's going to be playable as well as with a controller in VR. They showed Final Fantasy episode Ignis, Final Fantasy 15, excuse me, and they announced Spelunky 2. So they did a lot during the pre-show. Then when they moved to the main show, they started off things I thought pretty cool, with Ghosts of Tsushima, which is a game by Sucker Punch. I was surprised that it was a Sucker Punch game, because it was in a Ninja Gaiden style of graphics, and it just hinted to that it's gonna have that type of gameplay or something akin to it. And of course, we know Sucker Punch for Infamous, Sly Cooper. But this is just another example of what Sony does with their first party studios, which is they let you do certain things. If something gets popular, sure, they'll ask you for a couple of sequels, but they'll let you move on to something different. And this is supposedly an open world adventure game set in feudal Japan, where you're a samurai. How different, how much more different can you get than going from cartoonish, thief animal to a superhero vehicle to now a samurai story. That's pretty diverse, and I like how Sony lets their studios switch up like that, Then they showed a couple of things like Concrete Genie, which looks like an interesting indie game. Erica, which they're pushing both of those as a part of their PlayLink initiative. Basically, the Play Link initiative is these games where people can come together as groups, use their phones, and play through these games, make decisions in them, compete against each other. It's kind of party games, but it looks like they're trying to make really interesting party games, because Concrete Genie didn't look like your traditional Jackbox party type game. You know what I mean? Same thing with Erica. It's more like the game that they just dropped, Hidden Agenda, which you going through the story, making decisions that impact how the story is told and things like that. You know, and then they had to do another VR vignette, which they showed a lot of stuff. The Blood and Truth thing looked actually really interesting in VR. Then you saw some old stuff come up, like the Far Cry 5 trailer where they emphasized co-op. Destiny 2, they announced the DLC that's coming out in December. First one being the Curse of Osiris. Then they showed Monster Hunter, which they announced that Aloy from Horizon Zero Dawn is going to be in the game, and there's going to be a beta on the 9th of December, so that's cool. Onrush looks like a, you know, extreme racing game. They showed a new Spider-Man trailer. It looks good. Showed a new Detroit Become Human trailer. They showed some God of War gameplay, which looked cool. They showed Shadow of Colossus, which looks good. The remaster of that game for PS4. They, you know, ended things though with what I'm sure a lot of people were hyped about, which, as much as I like The Last of Us, I wouldn't say it was my hypest moment, but I thought the trailer was a great way to end. They showed footage, the trailer of The Last of Us 2, where they actually showed new characters, not just Joel. And why did I forget the girl's name all of a sudden? But they showed new characters of the game, and it looks interesting. It looks like there's going to be an interesting story going on. I wonder how they figure into the mix. Like, what's their involvement in this whole deal? Are you going to play like them coming from one side, and then is it Ellie, Joel and Elle coming from the other side? We'll see. We'll see. Should be an interesting story nonetheless. But they showed a lot of stuff. Again, it may not be what you like, what you want. It may not cater to your sensibilities, but as with what PlayStation and Sony has been doing for the past few years since the launch of PS4, is they're throwing out stuff for every type of gamer, which I think is cool. You know, you have to give everybody their due. You can't just keep sitting on one type of game. And the funny thing is, as much as they showed, they still must have a ton more to show for the PlayStation experience, because they usually hold some of their best stuff for that, and they show some pretty cool stuff, like the Spider-Man trailer, the Last of Us trailer, the Ghost of Tsushima, sorry. Those look good. Those look really, really good. Those were standouts for like AAA games, and then they had a bunch of cool indie stuff. What the hell do y'all have left for PlayStation experience? I know you're gonna show some old stuff. You already did the God of War gameplay, so you kind of took that off the table. I guess Kojima's game, and God knows what else is being worked on. You know what I mean? They have a bunch of stuff that they probably could pop out. So definitely looking forward to PlayStation Experience, but it was a cool show. I mean, I wasn't expecting anything spectacular, as Paris Games Week has not necessarily been etched in our minds, but they did a good job of at least making us pay attention to it by having that new stuff that they were showing. It's some very interesting things. You know what I mean? So we'll see. We will definitely see. Anyway, as always, you guys, feel free to hit me up. Let me know what you think, and I'll holler at you later. This your boy Blak, making it out, y'all. Deuces.